Man, the stock market has been insane this week. It looks boring, and today was kind of boring, but one of the most exciting days, and that's because you guys on the stream. But here are the three charts. There's FXB to watch the pound. There's Boeing, which has been waiting on the Dow. We had more developments and news I'm going to talk about. And then there's the SPY, which broke resistance. It finally broke out of this range that we haven't even touched since around July or October, which is pretty crazy. So that's stuff to watch. But like I said, man, today was so exciting. And it was because of the stream, yeah. And shout out all the people who were on the stream. Some people were dropping news before it even came out. I was very, very impressed. And, you know, that was great. So make sure you guys check it out. We did 7 hours today. It was too exciting. There's too much going on with Brexit and everything else. So literally, I'm still mind-boggled by everything that's going to go on. I'm going to share it with you guys here. So make sure you guys are subscribed to the live streaming channel. It's up in either there or the first link in the description. And make sure you guys thumbs up this video. And make sure YouTube shows this content. And as you guys see, you guys have been telling me and showing me you guys like these types of videos and these recaps every day. So I'm even trying to make the stream. You know, we did 7 hours today. I'm going to try to impact all of it into this now. So the two main things were Boeing and Brexit. And I'm talking about why the market was crazy both today and this week. And really the two big things was Brexit and Boeing, like I just said. But now digestion. And this is what I said in the video where I said the stock market is going to be crazy this week. I posted that last Friday or Sunday. It's because of what happens in the time it takes. Even Boeing, if you guys saw the chart, I brought this up on stream. Here it is. You guys could see the last 7, you know, this was the first day it came out. If you just based it on that day and the price action, you would have thought Boeing was going to go up. It was an overreaction. Then this happened. And then even today it started to, you know, even today we saw that move when it happened. You know, we had the first one was Canada, and that was the hint that they had new data from the satellite images that made Canada ban it. And again, why that's important, because Boeing banning the 737, it means you can't go over the airspace. And a big thing I want to make a distinction is that Canada did a temporary suspension and a permanent ban. There's a difference between the two. A lot of EU countries made permanent bans while some did temporary suspensions. And that's why the Boeing release came out today. And after, you know, this was Trump made an announcement. So again, that was the first drop hinting it. People said stuff, and, you know, we had a few plays. You could go watch the live stream recap to see what we were doing. But what happened from there, Trump made an announcement. The markets moved on that because then he said he was in touch with the Boeing CEO and they agreed on it. And he said they're going to ground it, but he was very careful with the words, and he said prohibition, not banning. And then the Boeing made a press release, and they said that they are doing it because of safety. They still believe in it, but they're recommending that the FAA does a temporary ban, and then 3-4 minutes later, FAA says they're temporary banning it. So again, that's the big difference. But how this is going to play out, I stand by it. This is going to be something that's going to digest. Now, I'm not here to talk about is Boeing going to fail and that. You know, I think that's kind of ridiculous, you know, but valuations change and some things are going to happen. You know, Boeing, it has a huge part of market share. It is a very, very big company, and it's important. There is competitors foreign, but to hang with Boeing, it's one thing. But again, the issue is now the airspace it's pretty much banned all over, or at least suspended. So that's the big issue. That's what happened. And really, you could even see here on the SPY, when that all started to occur, you know, the market really didn't respond to Boeing too much, and Boeing was doing good. But then after Trump, it started to come down, and then, you know, it didn't do the same bounce, and this is why it's independent. And, you know, I'll talk about this in another video. I still need to make it, but there's a lot of things. You know, there's Boeing buybacks that could be buying in. There's people with good till close orders and hedge funds and institutions. So don't be confused. You know, my answer is this. People say, oh, bad news came out, the stock went up. My answer is digestion. It takes time, especially, you know, I did it on stream. I showed those boat crash videos, so hopefully you know what I'm talking about. Otherwise, you think I'm a weirdo talking boat crashes. So, yeah. Now, Brexit. This is important. I said it on stream. I said it in the last video. I'll say it again. I think it could be a black swan event, and today kind of proved it even more because you saw what happened in 2016. I showed it in the last video. I might show you guys again, but in 2016, it was a big reaction because if Brexit has a hard Brexit, for those of you who don't know, a hard Brexit simply means they're leaving the European Union without a trade deal. That means they're not negotiating how to do transactions between businesses, how they're going to do immigration, trade, the fees, tariffs, all that. It will be a mess for both the UK, the EU, and the global economy and trade. Especially, you guys are trying to link this to trade wars and like what happened in trade wars. This would be awful. Everything happening with Boeing, awful. And even I made a comparison, some of this stuff, it's like 2001 where before the crash occurred. And I'm not saying there's a stock market crash, but you have to understand how outside events could now exacerbate the other issues we were looking at with like rates and trade. 2001, there was guidance cuts, then there was terrorist attacks like the World Trade Center, and stuff started to shake investor confidence or brought valuations down prior to some of the bigger blows and people, panic selling, all that. But here with Brexit, why it was important today, they had a vote on about 4 or 5 addendums, and even though they voted, the main one people were tweeting out was that the main addendum is that they voted that they don't want a no deal. They're saying that essentially there has to be a deal. Everyone voted, but it's non-binding. It doesn't mean anything. And that's what Theresa May said after all was said and done. She came up, she gave an evil devil grin smile, man. It was funny. It was really funny. But what did she say was that the law, the constitutional law in the EU, if they decided to leave, the referendum passed in 2016, by law, they either have to have a deal, and if there's no deal, it leads to a hard Brexit. That's it. So if they're not approving and then they declined her deal again, and she made it clear, she said, you guys didn't approve it, that's fine. I'm sticking to the same terms. She's playing a really, really crazy game of chicken. And that's what she said. Tomorrow, and then she brought up 2 main things. So this is how tomorrow is going to play out. And again, this is going to add to some of that craziness. She said one option is that if they get a deal approved, even though they said they don't want to today, or that they don't want to leave without a deal and they don't want her deal. So they said they don't want to leave without a deal, they don't want her deal, but she's saying if a deal does get approved, there's a technical extension that could be found through the law with the EU that would buy them more time. So again, she's trying to push people to her deal. But now the next thing she also said was that if not, we need to get an extension, and that has to be voted on. The only way they're going to get an extension is if everybody agrees tomorrow. So now you got people mad at her. She's playing chicken. She's not folding. You guys think Donald Trump is bad? Well, she's playing way more hardball than Donald Trump really ever has with anything so far. It's kind of crazy. It makes the wall issue look like nothing because now people are really mad. It's kind of, and she even said it. She even hinted, she's like, well, if we do get an extension, that will be good. But then she wants votes in Parliament. She wants to change all the people there. And the other side said the same thing. They said they're ready to vote right now to change Parliament. And that was pretty bold, So there's a lot of division. So if people are angry, and even the margin was about 4 or 5 votes saying they wanted to leave with or without a deal. So it's up to 4 or 5 people really, because if those people get angry with her and people want to just go against her and people don't want to, literally if they don't vote extension just to piss her off or force more turmoil, that's it. And she's worried. They also were talking about what they will decide tomorrow with the extension would be to re-announce another referendum, meaning redo Brexit. But a lot of people were not happy with that, because if they did redo Brexit, it would lose a lot of the faith, and people in the UK would be mad. And here's my question. If you're in the UK, do you want Brexit to happen or not? Hard Brexit or not, regardless of the repercussions, because they voted on it, and that would be crazy. Imagine we voted on something and they no, we couldn't agree on it for 2 years, and then they brought it all back and said re-vote on it. And it's crazy. But like I said, the fact that this has been going on for 3 years, but this is where everyone's like, oh, it's not going to have an effect. It's not going to have an effect. Well, I think it will, and I think it's going to contribute on top of everything else we're seeing. That's why I'm saying the markets are crazy, because there's so many events all at once, and that's why the market was so crazy today. It's simply coming down to the fact that this is started in 2016. The reaction was crazy because people weren't aware of Article 50, and people thought it was a hard Brexit immediately. It bounced up, and now it's been 3 years. But pretty much, that first effect we saw in 2016, let me show you guys now. So there it is in 2016. That's when the market dropped. This was June 23rd when it happened, and there was those 2 big days, and then it bounced up. But people thought that Article 50, they thought it was going to be a hard Brexit, and you saw what happened. So essentially, if the hard Brexit happens, then I could expect something to happen. You know, I could be wrong with it, but I'm putting 2 and 2 together. And at the end of the day, here's the main point with like Boeing and everything else that I'm trying to tell you. Even if it goes to a hard Brexit and the market doesn't drop instantly, it will have to digest. The play is between tomorrow and March 29th, and even after that, because again, the market will interpret or will have to digest the economic slowdown in the data and the issues caused through a hard Brexit. So that's pretty much it. That's why the markets have been crazy. There has been other data, but this is what I've been focusing on, and they've had drivers. It's based on economics, fundamentals of companies, a lot of other things, and even technicals. And you guys saw we got rejected on the technical level at the 282. We broke one level, reached a new high, but that could kind of be it. So we're going to see. I'm going to set up tomorrow my plays and how I'm talking and what I'm looking. Come to the live stream, you guys. Don't miss it. Make sure you subscribe to that channel, this one, and thumbs up the video, and let me know. I want your feedback on this. What did you think about today? And I love you all. I honestly had so much fun. When the chat is like that, when we're engaged, man, I'll stay on for 7 hours. You know, that's straight. That was exciting. I love it. So I love you guys. Have fun. Be on the lookout for any other. I don't know. All right. Yeah, I'm gone. Peace.